are you feeling overwhelmed and alone in your entrepreneurial journey? Discover how to shift from founder to leader and unlock your innate powers to build a thriving business. Today's episode features Sharon Seivert of Core Consulting, who reveals how these six powers can transform your leadership and life, leading to a thriving business and a healthy organization culture. Hey, are you ready to create the superpower balanced leadership and experience great ease and less pressure? Stay tuned to today's Profit with a Plan podcast. Hey, entrepreneurs, are you trying to make bigger profits in your small business? If you're like most of us business owners, increasing your profitability is always on your mind, and you're probably looking for ways to grow your revenue while growing your company. Well, you found a podcast that shares ideas to help you do just that. I'm Marcia Riner, known as the Profit Booster and a business growth strategist. I've helped tons of small business owners to establish and implement a tangible plan that guarantees increased profitability, guides your growth, and plans for a future exit. Because building a highly profitable and sale-ready business creates a win-win scenario. That's more money now and a windfall when it's time to let go. And I want to share strategies that I've learned with you on today's Profit with a Plan podcast. But before we get started, I have something special to share with you. If you ever wanted to supercharge your business, avoid profit plateaus, operational headaches, or growth roadblocks, well, I've created a brand new Profit Booster playbook just for you. You'll uncover 3 essential strategies and a quick way to take action on them. This is not just a single-page report. It's filled with impactful strategies, actionable steps, and expert guidance to elevate your profits. Go download this playbook, this free playbook, at boostingprofit.com. All right, I'm excited to have my guest on today. Sharon Seivert is the founder of Core Coaching Consulting and a visionary leader dedicated to transforming executives into powerful, effective managers. With her groundbreaking superpower of balanced leadership approach, Sharon has guided countless leaders worldwide to achieve their goals with ease. As a former CEO and founder of a record-breaking group health plan, she brings decades of hands-on experience to her collaborations. Sharon is also an accomplished author with her latest book, The Superpower of Balanced Leadership in an Unbalanced Times, being a must-read for today's managers looking to lead effectively in challenging times. Sharon, welcome to Profit with a Plan podcast. I'm excited to have you on today.
I am so happy to be here. I have enjoyed watching your other people on your podcast, and so I feel very honored to be here with you today.
Yay. You know, it's been a really fun journey, a labor of love, to do this for 5 years now.
My
And
God.
what I found is that I learned so much from my guests that come on. They just like you've got so much skills and knowledge and wisdom to impart by having you on. You make me look good.
Oh, thank you very much. And I think that we are living in a time where there's so many people who are doing fantastic work. And so the kinds of podcasts like you have bring us together. I would not have known about some of these guests that you have. And as I've been listening to them, I'm going, maybe I should hire these people. They're really good at what they do.
Yeah.
But we get to learn about people who are doing fantastic things in the world. So you're doing really community building for the world.
Oh, thanks. And you know what? You're
Yeah.
right. I'm here in Las Vegas. You're sitting there in Boston. We never would have crossed paths if we didn't have the podcast to bring us together.
I love it. Yeah.
Oh, well, thanks for boosting my podcast up.
You got
Got me
it.
all warm and fuzzy. Okay, Sharon. So, we had a great introduction about you and where we get, but I always like to kind of pull everything together. Not that, and when I was 3, I did a lemonade stand, but how did you get involved with leadership coaching?
Wow. Great question. And I started out being a leader, being thrown into leadership in a political organization. I ran a family planning center in the olden days received death threats for doing so.
Oh my gosh.
I had to learn karate to watch my back. Honest to God. So been in the fire, and then I moved on to doing a group health plan, and that's where we set the industry record for earliest break even. That's not ever been broken. So
Wow.
talk about profit
Congratulations.
with the plan. We were kind of profit without a plan. We just kind of were making it up as we went along. We were punks. We just were on a mission from God, we felt, and it worked out really brilliantly. But because of those things, I learned on the job, on the run, what did and did not work. So I am in my bone marrow a pragmatist. And, is this going to work? Is this not going to work? And why?
Right. Wow. That's great. And so having that kind of world experience and life-threatening experience at times,
Yeah.
it builds us who we are in characters. A lot of my guests will come on and say, yeah, I was in corporate America and just needed to break out, that kind of stuff. But it's interesting how we learn while we're running, right? We
Yes.
get in and start pounding through and going, oh, okay, we figured this one out. Maybe I should make note of this, right?
That was interesting. I never would have figured that out if I hadn't been in that moment. Yeah. Someone has said, building an organization, an entrepreneur organization is like you're in flight and you're building the plane. And I think we all feel that way from being on the ground day to day.
And I think one of the greatest skills that today's business owners have is that they know their skill, right? But they don't necessarily know how to lead a team. And a
Oh,
one
yes.
person company really isn't a company. It's not really a business. It's a job where you're trading time for money. But in order to expand and scale and grow, you have to have a team on there. And therefore, you have to lead.
Right, right. And our topic today is moving founders into really thinking of themselves as leaders. I meet so many, up here in the Boston area, you can imagine we have all of these, geniuses coming out of MIT and the other schools, and they have fantastic global world-shaking ideas. And boy, do they can really get in their way because they're the inventor and they're the founder, and they need to become a leader, and they need to go beyond just doing the work themselves because they will burn out. And this company is not going to succeed if you burn out. So
Exactly.
how we move into community, which is a huge part of what I like to do with my entrepreneurs, is we move them into community. So they, even if they are a solopreneur at this moment, they are thinking about how they lead themselves with this plan that we have, how they lead themselves into being a real organization.
Love it. Okay, so what are some of the stages or strategies that you recommend? I know you mentioned that you have 6 pieces that you go through, because I mean, leaders, some leaders have weird styles where they're just like, I'm going to tell you what to do and you better do it.
Yeah,
Or
that doesn't really
they're,
work very well.
or,
Yeah.
or, or worse, they're trying to be friends with their employees and being, oh, you did so good, Susie. Here's your trophy for the day, right?
Yeah.
I think those are polar opposites, but there's got to be a blend of somewhere in between where you can get that employee to really take ownership on their position and help you grow the company because that's what they're getting paid for.
Hello, as I say to people, this is not a tea party. This is not a social gathering. We are here to do work. I have heard myself say that to people on many an occasion. And it's wonderful that you love each other, but we have work to do.
Right.
So I take people through these 6 steps that you're talking about, and that will grow your leadership while it's saving your life from burning out, while it is designing your organizational culture,
Mm,
also modeling for your people about the way they're supposed to work.
right.
So this is balanced leadership, and it's a superpower because there's 6 different powers. Don't you love
Ooh,
that? So there's six
yeah.
different powers. Yes.
Okay, so now that we've got our cape on,
Yeah.
how do we take this and really input it into our business so that we can not
Yes.
burn out and have that company that we desire so
Yes.
much for?
Yeah. Yeah. It's always, and I say this to entrepreneurs from the very beginning, we are going to be moving these ponies west at the same time. You're going to be moving your, your leadership and your life and your culture at the same time. Because if we don't, you're going to get out of sync and you're going to lose a lot of these efforts. So what we start people with is their core. So think of the center and the four directions of the compass. You can think about this plan we have as a compass that will steer you through what will be choppy weather many days, okay? So it's coming, you have a compass to get yourself through it. And these compass points always refer back to each other and always reinforce each other. So the plan is highly integrated. The plan is very, very stabilizing all the time, okay? So what we do here is we start with the core. And the core part of you is the why are we in business? Why are you doing this? And I cannot tell you how many organizations just don't do that, right? Or even at all. Have you had that experience?
Absolutely. And it's usually the first answer, well, I'm here to make money, right? I'm
Yeah,
here
yeah,
to produce a
yeah.
client and make a profit.
Right. And as we say in the old show, the show business, that gong, that is the wrong answer. So the core is why you're in business. What is the point of this business, and how do you articulate it? What are the values of this business? So that's the thing that you constantly come back to. These are your values. This is the culture's values. Everyone you hire has to be simpatico with these values, or you got a problem. So when you dig, this actually goes into your hiring and maybe firing strategy, right? So that we have to tune. This is like the orchestra note. You tune the orchestra to this. You keep tuning the orchestra to this. So that's the core, and that's your gravitational center, and you won't go wrong if that's strong.
But many business owners think that that's just fuzzy washy stuff that I'll do someday on one of those retreats that I do, because right now I need to get more customers and make some money. So how do we get them to believe that that core is really going to hold them together?
The core is going to hold them together. The way I describe it is what you're supposed to do is go ready, aim, fire. Right. And most of these people are going fire, fire, fire,
Fire, fire, fire. Exactly.
Right. So it doesn't take long for you to get this correct. And it saves you gazillions of dollars. I mean, you are going to lose money. If you don't do this right, you are so going to lose money.
Ugh.
And
So
it's not going to hold
if I
together.
can imagine, it's kind of like the GPS, right? Where are we
Yes.
going? And then to put all the places in it and in the plan to say, well, this is why we're doing, this is where we're going. And therefore we need to now have this as our mile marker for directing our company, right?
Right. And so you start with that being very, very clear. And once you have that, then you have the juice you're going to need to move on. So when I was, in my initial days of being a founder, if we didn't have that juice, I would not have been able to get to the end of the day. It's just exhausting. You need that power center inside you, that sense that what you're doing is important. This product is really going to help people. It's important that I do this. And then your day follows.
It means something.
It means something. You have something that means to you, that means to all the people who are working with you, so they will support you when you're having a bad day, and you can support them when they're having a bad day, because they will have bad days, right? So that's the
Great.
core, that's the center,
Okay.
that's the internal burn. And then we have the visioning. So we have to have that aim piece. So we ready with the core, aim with the vision. This is where we think we can go, and here's all of the opportunities we have. We'll look at all these opportunities. And then we have to get them to drill down and focus. And they're going to fire on that one thing. And a lot of this, a lot of entrepreneurs go bing, 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 bing.
Yeah.
And there's the money, and there's the effort, and there's the company just totally dissipated. Am I
love
right?
it.
Yeah.
So with that core and that vision and then the focus on it, we have direction, right?
We have
That everybody
direction,
can
yeah.
get behind you.
Right. So that's the mission piece, the fire piece, the focus, the getting things done, the moving into action, the no excuses, get out of my way, I have something to do. But you're powered by these other powers. They all come in together and they lean together. Once
Okay.
you have that direction and agenda clear, then's the time to really make sure that all of the interactions, you have all the right people who are going to make this happen. Everyone has their responsibility. They know why they're doing the work, and they can go out there and get the work done. And then we have then that also leads to what we would call the earth element, or the structure piece. The structure has to fit these others. So a lot of times entrepreneurs will start and they have a pre-thought about structure. And it's sort of like, they need a station wagon. They thought they just needed a sports car. Well, what they really need in their structure is a station wagon to drive everyone. So the structure may have to be rethought according to everything that came before, and it fits. Then it fits. So you know how much money needs to happen every month, and you know how much capital you need to get in, and more investment. It's all really, really clear in that. Really, here's the profit, here's the measurement, here's if it's working or not. And the sixth power is synergy. And that's where things start coming together, because these are all these powers are helping each other out.
Wow.
So it's
Okay.
aligned. And then people take off. So they have more ease, they're going to have more profit. And it's brilliant. Their brilliance is coming into the world. This is a plan or a vehicle for their brilliance to happen.
So it sounds amazing. And I'm going to play the contrarian here just a
Oh,
little bit.
no. Oh,
So
all right.
just a little bit, because I'm a planner at heart and I love what you're talking about. But I think when I talk to those business owners, again, they're just like fire, fire, fire. And they're not taking that step back to work on their business, as the famous quote has gone
Yes.
through the world. It's time to take a little step back and work on your business a little bit instead of in your business all the time.
You
And
nailed it.
so how do you get the business owner to really slow down enough to work on those six powers to get the company and team aligned?
Well, first of all, the some people are never going to do it. Some people are just going to do what they're going to do, and they don't know why you're bothering them so much. So
Right.
we have to leave them alone. The people who they're just people who want to do it right. They want to
Mm,
not give up their life for their business, and they want to be real leaders. They want to be the emerging leaders. They have a sense of growth. They have a sense of possibility. They have a sense that, the way I was taught really didn't work so well so far. So a lot of people come to me at the point they're going, this just is not working the way I thought it would be working. And so we go in to help them pull out. Other people come to us because they have heard that this is the way to roll. So we get a
mm,
lot of, newer folks into the business who say, I want to do this right from the start.
mm.
And I've heard from my friend that this worked for them.
Love it. And
Yeah.
I think that's it. We can't help everybody in the world, but I think that those that, as you mentioned early on, that want to have that balance in life and not get stressed and burned out trying to do everything and force the company to produce the results, but to have that kind of natural ease and enjoyment where things start to click and go together because you took that time to go back and sit with yourself and build the kind of company that supports your why and everything you're doing. Then you start to put the pieces into place that naturally fit in. I mean,
Yeah.
it makes total sense to me, but that's the mindset I have,
You
right?
have a growth mindset.
Yes,
Yeah.
absolutely.
So
But I
that is a
feel, yeah,
necessity. That is a
I think
necessity. You
so.
have to believe that there's a possibility for evolution. And there's also the bottom line really benefits from this strategy, because you're not having to go back and do rework. You're not having to do things over and over. So it's a very profitable strategy. And there's just this little bit of ready and aim that happens before fire. It doesn't take much time, but honest to God, it's never going to work if you don't do it. You're never going to have the good luck factor coming in. It's just not going to happen. You're going to
I
work 5 times harder than you need to
Oh,
for what
thank
you
you.
get.
And I think that's what happens is
Yes.
that they just, because they went through school or they being the founders and business owners, they went through some sort of schooling, they had some skill set or training that set them forth, and then they had this fantastic idea of, hey, I could do this myself. And they go out, put a stake in the sand and say, I'm a business owner, right?
Right.
Um,
Look at
and
me, I'm a business owner.
exactly, until they get in there, whether it's their second or third hire or 10th or 20th hire, and they're like, God, this is hard. And I think that's because they didn't set that foundation in place.
Yep, yep, yep. We want them to have a platform that sustains them
Mm.
through all the difficult times. If they have this, in this case, center of gravity, everything else gets easier. I was thinking about, when you mentioned that, about a time when I was called into a prestigious law firm here in the Boston area to help them with their strategy. So the same kind of strategy for a bigger organization. And we had just gotten done with the core piece definition when they decided that they needed to have a layoff. And, it happens a lot to me that we get called in a little too late to keep these things from happening. But here we are. And they started talking about the way they were going to handle the layoff. And I was going, stop, 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 being very bold. Stop, action. The other day, you said these are the values of your organization. How do you do a layoff that honors those values? Oh my God, they stopped short. And so they were just going to let people go, and there wasn't really going to be much of anything in terms of severance, and they were going to notify by email or something awful.
Gosh.
And they changed everything. They had one-on-ones, the people were going to have to go. The partners talked to them about that. They had the staff meeting, they gave severance, they really honored these people. And the people came back to them and said, yeah, I was so furious when I first found out about it. I mean, remember, these are lawyers, okay? So, this could really cost you money if you do it this panicked way and this
Yeah.
ashamed way. They felt horrible they had to do this, but they were acting totally against their stated values.
Mm.
So people then said, I really felt respected. I understand what's going on. I understand why it's going on. I appreciate the partner coming and talking to me about it, and the letter of reference that I'm getting and the help I'm getting over here, and da, 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 da. Oh my God. That's an example of what happens that goes to the bottom line if you behave according to your values.
I love it. And so many business owners react through business. They're again chasing clients and putting out fires, and they don't hold on to that center, right? That core that you talk about,
Right.
that is so important for the way that we treat our employees, our customers, our vendors, ourselves and family. I mean,
It is a fabric. It is a through line. I think I talked about it's being a triple thread. So it goes through your life, through your leadership, and through your organizational culture. And you need, as a founder, to be
mm,
all those things. So this is an easy way to conceptualize it and to start to do it.
mm. And I think that when you come into a company at the time where it's almost too late, then you are still in that reaction mode. By taking the time, a little bit of time. We're not asking, founders
This
and,
much
and business
time.
owners,
Yeah.
yeah, we're talking little incremental changes.
Give us
This
a
could be a
break.
this could be a Saturday retreat that you write off and work on and get the version 1 done. And it is an evolving conversation, right? Our
Yes.
core values constantly change. And, hey, well, we're stepping into a new market. How do we represent ourselves in that market? And then you come back to that Saturday morning get together and brainstorming to reevaluate, right?
To reevaluate it. And we have used this model with individuals, of course, individual leaders, but also with really major corporations in the world. So we know it works, and we know there's resistance, but we know you just got to get over it. If you don't do this, you're going to suffer. Your people are going to suffer. So when we look at profit with a plan, this is another angle into it and way to do it.
I love it. And I think it's so important. And frequently in our space, in the smaller business space,
Yeah.
like last on the checklist of things that need to be done. But in reality though, if you could really dig into that core value of why you're doing this and why it's important and what you're doing, you can attune this to your ideal client prospect, or you can
Yes.
adjust that ideal client prospect and impart your values in your messaging, in your growth platform, in the way that you do business with them. And I think, you hopefully won't get to the point where you're in that attorney place thinking, I got to lay these people off because I'm not bringing in enough money, so now
Right.
I have to lay these people off, rather than focusing on your business and the core values and growth potential so that you're making money and you don't ever have to lay these people off. You're thinking about, I need to
Amen.
hire more.
Yeah, the way you talk about that is correct, that your statement of who you are is also then becomes the who are the clients you're going to serve. What's the point of this business? Who am I in business to serve? And that this core piece of you, these values become your brand
Hmm.
and your messaging. And so often I've had people who are just like struggling to figure out the brand, and they were trying this and trying that. And I'm going, this is really too far down the line. You need to go back here. Your brand is here. And so it's coherent. It's like constantly tuning an orchestra to the same note. You're going to always get it right if you have that strong core.
I love it. I love it. Okay, this has been really helpful. So let's talk real briefly about how we translate our values and core to our team.
Ah,
Because I think as leaders, right, we could have
yes.
it all here, and I could have my Saturday meeting with me, myself, and I, or my three partners, or some key players. But how do I get everybody else on board to that
Right.
value?
Right. So the leader needs to lead this strategic process. So one of the things that I have people do is they have a wall in their office that has columns that just talked about with each of the six powers, and they are putting Post-its on it. And they're working together to the plan. And they're constantly, if the plan changes, if they have new people coming in as possible customers, Post-its go up, they change around. So you have actually a working, living, dynamic board that everyone is working on the plan together.
Love it. And
Yeah,
for
so
those
the adjustments happen in real time.
Love it. And for those of us, there are software tools that help us do this. There are dozens of boards that you can do online that gets everybody on track as well. So it
Yes,
doesn't have
yeah.
to actually be a post-it note on your wall, but the visual concept of it can actually work with people that are in different parts of the country.
Or around the world.
Trello's,
Yeah.
boards and processes that you could timelines and work through that could keep everybody engaged on that. So I love that
Yes,
visual.
those are very good. And putting something on the wall for those who are in the same geographic area uses a different part of the brain.
Oh,
So these tools that we have, we want to mix them up because they do use different parts of the brain. And having people in the room and going back and forth with their Post-it notes and yelling at each other and ribbing each other is way, way, way too much fun. And it certainly stays in the memory. The alignment happens at a visceral level, physical level.
interesting. So it's just like taking notes the old-fashioned way by writing them out,
Yes.
puts it into your head differently than typing them out.
And we want both. The
Mm,
point is we want to take it from all the possible directions. Absolutely, we'll do it this way, and then we'll do it that way, and we'll see what happens. And some people are very creative. They sing it or dance it. I don't do that. I just say Post-its on the wall.
love it.
Or
Love
in
it.
the Trello. Trello is brilliant. So we have these wonderful, wonderful tools that keep it alive for us. And the organization is allowed to be agile. This is the
Mm.
ultimate agile approach. I mean, this is it. So people can do it and can adapt to situations, and it's normal for them to go back and forth. And this changed, and we have this new team person on. The other thing that the founder leader needs to do is hire very intelligently
Mm,
using these things. Is the person going to be compatible with the core? Are they comfortable with the vision? Are they, at the kind of a pace we like to work at? You know,
I like it. I
growl
like
at
it.
people or not. Yeah. So we need to align the hiring.
Okay, wow. So we've got this core value that seems to sprinkle through everything, spider through everything that we do in business, right?
Yes.
And so I love how important this is to really sit with this and to work through it. And, like you said, it's got a heartbeat and it's changing, and you can get everybody involved and on board with this, and you can hire from it. You can do your customer acquisition from it. You can
Totally. Yeah.
make every decision that you're going to make in your business from that core. Sounds
Yes.
like the heart, right?
It's very much like it's more like the soul.
The soul, like it.
It's really the soul of who this business is and what the founder intended it to be, that sort of thing. Last year in August, I went back to Minnesota to where I began my organizational work. And I had a surprise party thrown for me by some of my workers. And it was a surprise. And what I was so touched by was what people said about how this culture changed their lives,
Mm,
how it allowed them to grow, how we insisted they grow, how we made sure that people got their certifications. This was a healthcare organization, so that they then could command different salaries. We can justify it to the board, that sort of thing, and how every person was in it together to make it happen.
mm.
So I know this works from my own experience, and how it has sustained people through the years, how they changed their lives as a result of being in a culture that had such a strong core, a clear vision. We felt we were on a mission from God, like the Blues Brothers. We took care of each other in the interactions, and we made money.
As a result, what a
I
secondary thought. You
I
made
don't
money.
I what did I say? But for me to see how long that impact lasted was
Mm,
breathtaking.
I like it. Wow. Many of us, listeners can look back at to somebody that changed our life, right? And because of this and this and this and this happened. It could be a friendship, a teacher, a mentor, a family member, a friend that did that. And I think that as business leaders, we can also be that impact. We could be that impact
Absolutely.
with our customers. We can be that impact with our employees and our team members, and we can be an impact in our community. And I think it all goes
Yes.
back to why we're doing this.
Why you're doing it. Yes. And it makes it so much easier to do it.
Mm,
We
like,
want to have that ease, that's natural part of what you're doing in the world. This is what you're meant to do.
and then it just flows because you're
Yeah.
in alignment.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
it, warm fuzzies, warm fuzzies, warm fuzzies. All right, Sharon, this has been fantastic. You've really brought this idea out, and I hope the audience is really grabbing it. But where can listeners find out more about you, your core methodology, your superpower, and these ideas of leadership, taking a founder to a leader?
Fabulous. Thank you for asking that. Go to our corecoachingconsulting.com website. There is a free report for you there entitled, What's in it for me? Remember, we were talking about that from the very beginning. Why should I bother is not the title of it, but what's in it for me? And it looks at how each of these 6 powers improves your leadership and what it looks like when you're not strong there. So it'll show
Mm,
you kind of the problems you may have. So that's the What's in it for me free leader report. And they can get that. They can come to our core community events, which are also free. We have all kinds of resources and teaching on our YouTube channel and in our blog. Just take full advantage. We are trying to form a new thinking model of leadership, a community that's global. We want people from around the world to hold on to this and to use it and to, improve the lives that they're in charge of.
love it. Ooh, I think this is a movement that
Yes.
is that's possible and can really create long-lasting benefits for everybody that it touches. So thank you for doing all this. This is
You're
amazing.
more than welcome, and it's so fun to talk with you about this. I'd love to talk with people who get it, 'cause many times I'm talking to people who go,
What?
"Ah."
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Well, coming from, I'm a planner at heart. So this kind of, structure and functionality and basis, it's so important.
Yes,
And listeners, I think if you could take a couple hours a month, an hour a month, to really just sit with yourself and find out why it is that you're doing this, I think it just makes everything so much easier going forward. So I love this idea. All
great.
right. I hope you found a couple ideas to put into your business that will help your business be more profitable. I know that Sharon's core values is really important and is the piece that will help you smooth out and balance the life that you need in your business. So go pick up her items and freebies and get into her community and just, learn. There's ways to do some free stuff like YouTube, but you know what? There's better stuff when you put your effort and intention forward.
Right, and
So
they can get the book, The Superpower Balanced
oh, that's right.
Leadership also. Yeah, I forgot to mention that. Oops. So
It's
The
your
Super
book.
a Balanced Leadership in Unbalanced Times, which will give them exact instructions for following the roadmap.
How easier can we make it?
I
My
don't
goodness.
know.
Awesome. Well, while you're at it, if you want to supercharge your business, go download my new Profit Booster Playbook, packed with 3 profit strategies and the actionable steps you can use to make this your most profitable year ever. And you can go grab it for free at boostingprofit.com. Well, Sharon and I would love to hear your questions, comments. Tell us what's going on. Tell us what your core value is. Why are you in business? Hit it up, hit it up. Say it in the comments so that way we can respond to it. We would love to know why you're in business and see if that says what all your messaging goes with as well. So while
Nice.
you're at it, please subscribe. You don't want to miss future podcasts. You can always catch Profit with a Plan every Tuesday on your favorite podcast players. We're looking forward to more great profitable information on next week's shows. So until then, make your plans and profit with them. Thank you so much, Sharon. This was
Got
incredible.
it. Yeah, thank you. Bye-bye.